I'm going to go and turn off the image flipper that we used just a little bit earlier on. We've demoed what we need to there now. And then I'm going to close down the mobile app, which still has an upside down GTR, and I'm going to run it again. That's going to cause it to re-request each one of the images, and we'll get everything facing back up the right way. Now what I'm really interested in when this app fires back up again is that first request that's made to the API. So we can see it pop in here at request number 80. Nice to see all our cars back up on four wheels as well. So let's go and take a look at that request. And we'll look at the inspectors, and we'll see this GET request. API, supercar leaderboard, limit results equals 8. Now of course, when we go and look at the response, we should see 8 vehicles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Nothing too special happening there. What I want to do now though is use the composer. Now we use the composer quite extensively in the Hack Yourself First course for similar sort of purposes against a web app. And the way we use this feature is that we simply grab a request and drag it into the composer panel. It then pre-populates the composer with the request we made just before. So here are the request headers. There's no request body, it's a GET request. And here is the URL being requested, and we can also see our limit results parameter here set at 8. Let's now change this to 3. We'll execute the request. We'll click on it. Back to inspectors. Now let's have a look at how many elements we get. 1, 2, 3. Again, very simple stuff. But let us not lose the significance of what we just did in the security context. We have now invoked this API in a way that the rich client app was never intended to do so. It's hardwired into this app that it should request 8 cars. We've just forced it to only load 3. So we've actually circumvented the rich client app altogether. We're going straight to the API and we're asking it to behave the way we want it to behave, not the way the app wants it to behave. That's a pretty innocuous request, and we're going to look at some properly malicious requests that we can make later on. But for now, I want to use this piece of knowledge to go one step further and change the way the app behaves. So here's what I want to do. I just pointed out Fiddler script just before, and I'm going to jump down to that on before request event. We've got a bunch of default code in here already. Just drag that guy across so we can see a bit more of it. And down a little bit further, I've commented out a section which we're now going to re-enable. And it's simply this. It's down here under Hack Your API First. Now for legibility, I'm going to uncomment this and then we'll have a read through what's going to happen. Very simple. It's looking at the session, which is the request being sent through Fiddler, and if the path and the query is equal to this one, and this is the one that we just dragged into the composer just before, it's going to change it. And it's going to change it so that the results are limited to just 3. Let's save this, and you'll see what I mean. We'll jump back over into our mobile app. I'll drill down into a car, and then we'll come back out to the home page to force that API to be requested again. And now suddenly we only have 3 cars. We have now manipulated the functional behavior of this application. And we've done so simply by changing the request before it was even sent to the server. Now again, this by itself is fairly innocuous, but don't lose the significance of what we've just done. We are actually modifying the behavior of this app. We haven't changed any code in the app. We've simply changed the way it's communicating with the server. Now this time we've done that by request tampering. So we've actually changed the parameters of the request before it was sent to the server. I'd like to now go on and try some response tampering. And this time we're actually going to start to get just a little bit malicious.